Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Herd 37. So on our last flight, we flew some commodities up to Columbus, Ohio. That's Kilo Charlie Mike Hotel, John Glenn International. And so we saw another flight because I'm fine with commodities, but I'd like to really fly some jobs as well. Even though commodities pay so much. But there was this one flight leaving that airport, John Glenn, going clear over here to WV62, Whiskey Victor 62. That is in Davis, West Virginia. Actually, I probably haven't seen that airport. There's another airport nearby that I've actually been around. But anyhow, I do want to fly to that. It's actually a private, it's called Windwood Fly-In Resort in Davis, West Virginia. It's over near Canaan Valley, which is where I go. Actually be there in a couple months. But so it's actually a private airport owned by like the homeowners association. The problem it's gonna be is we're still in crappy weather, and it's obviously gonna be a small runway. It's a skinny runway. That's what kind of worries me. But we shall get it done. So I think I have accepted this, did I not? I don't know why it still says I can accept it. I do want to go ahead and fly it now so we can get this whole setup going. So it's 725 pounds. And so the distance is 170 nautical miles. There could be one problem. I'm not sure we have enough fuel. Like, we have 24 gallons, right? So we have a range of 372. So we have like 200 extra miles, right? 170, but we can go 372. But we burn more fuel in Microsoft Flight Simulator than Air Hauler 2 thinks we do. That's partly because I'm a little heavy on the throttle. And so I don't know that we can actually get there. I'm a little worried about that, to get there without stopping. So we might have to stop short. Now, if we can make it to Clarksburg, it wouldn't be that bad. That's Kilo Charlie, Kilo Bravo. If we can make it that far, but we might have to stop a little short in Parkersburg. It's actually not, it looks like it's very far south. It really isn't as far south. And I think I wrote that down as Kilo Papa, Kilo Bravo. We'll see it in Microsoft Flight Simulator here in a second. But fingers crossed we can make it. I mean, at worst, we're going to have to stop somewhere. But the problem also is West Virginia does not exactly have a lot of airports. If you're from the United States, you know it's not exactly a big area. So I wanted to take off. I was going to set 10. It doesn't really matter. I'll set it, 15. It doesn't really matter. So cruise altitude. I don't know if we can make it to 7,500 feet. I'll go ahead and put 7,500 feet. We're going to go to like 5,500. We might go up after we burn some fuel because we're going to be quite heavy taking off. If we can burn some fuel, we might go on up to 7,500. The problem is going to be some mountains. By the way, the airport elevation alone is like 3,210 feet. It's in a valley. Canaan Valley, obviously it's a valley, but it's actually quite high elevation. There's a bunch of mountains around. It sits up real high, so that's kind of a little worrisome. But 7,500, you should be fine, I would think. I hope. So we'll go ahead and accept that. I know all that, so let's go ahead and we'll move on over to Flight Simulator. Alright everybody, here we are at the flight planner. I'm not going to click on this because every time I click, man, I end up going through all this kind of crap. As you see, wind is 140 degrees at 5 knots. So we're going to be taking off on 28 right. That's a heading of 281 degrees. That is the same runway. Yeah, it's going to be right here. I've set us as parking right here because we parked just kind of in the middle of the airport over on the side. I can't get right back to it. So we're going to park over here near the end of the runway, and we'll take off on 28 right. And as we make our way down here, Whiskey Victor 62. So the wind is 288 degrees at 1 knot, so not really much on the wind. So we're going to come in here and land on runway 6. I couldn't really find the headings of the runway, but it is runway 6. Now I can show you this. So actually Bridgeport, there's one near Bridgeport, but Clarksburg, I'm not sure which one they're calling Clarksburg and which one's Bridgeport. But as you can see, maybe that must be Clarksburg. Yeah, KCKB. So we can stop there. It's not, I mean, it'll give us a little bit. It's somewhat close, though. So the other one was Parkersburg. It shouldn't be too, it is somewhat off there. Good Lord. There's not, there's not really much that we can do. That's the problem. Like, I know that there's an airport over here in Buchanan. There's one at Elkins, but then you're just better off to stop at Clarksburg. Hopefully we can make it to Clarksburg. If not, I think worst case scenario, we're going to have to stop in Parkersburg. But time shall tell. Let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. All right, everybody, here we are at the plane. They put us right over here. I don't know if there's any fuel. I know that said air. I hope there's not any fuel, man. If y'all remember in the way back early days of FSX, we always had a problem. We would end up near like fuel pumps that would screw up our fuel and add a bunch automatically. I believe our runway is right here. So it's a short taxi, which is good because fuel, man, I'm worried about the fuel. And I tried, like on the last flight, I tried to take it easier on the throttle, but our speed kept declining and declining and declining. And it was like, man, I can't. You got to stay airborne. That's a little more important than the fuel that you're using. Anyhow, let's go ahead. I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to go ahead and push her back before we start the prop. That looks like there might maybe it's just air. You'd figure there's some fuel over there too, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably far enough right there. Set the parking brake again. Alright, fuel selector is in both. Fuel shutoff is pushed in. All of our breakers are pushed in. Let's go ahead and turn on the power. Zoom in here a little bit. Get that warning off.
Warning, okay.
Thank you very much. Set off. Now that will probably come back on. Alright, we'll give her a little bit of throttle. That's actually technically supposed to be pushed out. Alright, let's go ahead and prime this engine. So we'll push that in. You can see we do have the fuel flow.
Okay.
Pull that back out. Turn the fuel pump off. Just a little bit of throttle there. Alright, beacon and nav are coming on. Go ahead and start her up. Push that in. Alright, we do have oil pressure. Give it just a little more throttle, not too much. Fuel is at our premium, so I'm going to actually pull her back down just a little bit more. And I don't want to be sitting here too long. Let's get our avionics on. Let's go ahead and set this to 5,500 feet. And our heading for takeoff. Oh, that is 281. I wrote down a bunch of. It is 281. Let's go over to GPS. That never said anything. Oh. Get you off there. Yeah, see that? I always get that back. Alright, so the inset goes off. Alright, I'm thinking we're about set up. Like I say, I want to get up in the air, man. I don't want to burn any more fuel than we have to. Taxi light coming on. Parking brake off. And we'll taxi on out of here. Air Hauler 2 does have us. You can hear that ding. Loud ding. Man, I gotta get some liveries. Remember we used to use World of AI? They used to, give the liveries for all this stuff. It looks so bad, this generic ones, man. I mean, it's better than nothing, obviously. That is not a freaking taxiway line. Now we're on the taxiway line. Good night. How long was I following that incorrectly? Hopefully not that long. Move our range back up to 20. Yeah, I was just following that line and talking. And all of a sudden it went over to the ground. The grass was like, no. Ah, man. Tough on the brakes there. I don't see anyone on the runway. Well, that guy might be on the taxiway. Flaps are set. Let's go. I need to see a little bit better transponder. Turn that on. Lane lights, the strobe coming on. We got a notch of flaps. Alright. Let's get on to Davis, West Virginia. Like I said, I'll actually be there in a couple weeks. We stay in Canaan Valley and we go over to Davis to eat at a place called Sirianni's. Italian food, pizza, mainly pizza. Man, it is good. Alright. Off we go. Little dip there. Airspeed is alive. Man, I let off on the twisting of the rudder, and that's what happens. Alright, let's go ahead and rotate. I let my speed build up a little extra again, just like last flight. Woo! I mean, we're so heavy, I'd want a little more airspeed. Oh, there's Columbus off in the distance over to the left. Alright, gonna go ahead and retract the flaps. Still a little squirrely. Trying to build up some airspeed before we turn around. We need to go out a little ways as well. We've got a runway off to our left. Probably getting close to it. So I keep letting myself get blown over. The last time we were getting blown off to the right, well, when we landed just a little while ago. I wanted to go ahead and fly this flight. We're gonna end up stuck down in West Virginia 62. There's a flight over in Clarksburg though. The airport that we were looking at. We might have to stop at. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn. There's nobody taking off, so I'm not sure exactly how far we need to fly out here. Like I say, I don't want to go too far, man. This fuel situation worries me. But like I was saying, there's a flight job over in Clarksburg, and that actually would take us back to Charleston, our base. Which, you know, you always want to stay near the base. There's the runway. Oh, hell. I just didn't want to fly too close to it. Obviously, normally you would have to fly out further and higher, but I am extremely worried about this. Not having enough fuel. Alright, so let's set up a few things. I'm gonna stay at this heading 105. Whoa. Whoa. Autopilot coming on. Heading. Let's duck down there. Vertical speed. Let's just climb at 300 feet a minute for now. We are quite heavy. And by doing that, I can pull back on the fuel here. Our fuel gallons per hour. See, we had a total of 24 gallons. Well, distance. Oh, see, the hell with that. Don't tell me it wants me to go over to KCMH to pick that up, because that just ain't happening. We may have to try and do this again. We did this last episode. W V 2 Oh my god, it doesn't have 2.6 in there. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Well, you can go to Clarksburg, but we need... Oh my god. Alright, so this clicked over. Alright, good. I thought it was going to be like, oh, you have to go back over to the airport. And I was going to be like, oh, no, we don't. But as I was saying, so 24, basically 24 gallons of fuel. We're using about 10. So we should have 2 hours worth of flight. Man, like... Oh, jeez. This is going to be bad. I'm going to slow our gallons. Bring back the throttle just a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring this back as well. So our EGT's right there in the middle. But when we get up to flight, we're going to have to bring that way back. That's why we're not trying to climb too hard right now. I'm about to switch that over to nav. There we go. I didn't want this thing to try and take off, get straight over to the line. Take a look at a little bit of the scenery. Columbus, Ohio. Been there many a times. I am a University of Michigan fan, so I am not a huge fan of Columbus. But I have been there many a times. Unfortunately. And I did wear my Michigan hat and shirts and everything. Not well liked, but I did not ever get assaulted or anything. Down to 200 feet a minute. I could use more power, but fuel is at a premium. So I'm going to do everything I can to save what we've got. We're right at the edge of there being able to put out flaps, but I think we should be alright. Yes, it moves very rapidly. I've noticed that a lot in my short time in Microsoft Flight Simulator. One thing that I find odd is Columbus, the metropolitan area, is actually the biggest area in Ohio. Which I always thought it would have been Cleveland and then maybe Cincinnati, but actually Columbus is like quite large. See, now we're up to 100. Oh well. All I'm going to do is I'm going to say, oh, that lets us use a little less fuel. I'm going to pull that out as well. Let's check that. Gallons per hour. Yeah, we're moving it down a little bit. And the speed's coming down a little bit. That's alright. Yeah, I was worried about the weather. It's cleared up a lot more than it was a few hours ago. You just went from farmland, nothing but farmland, to this. And some farmland. But that's Ohio for you. Even Columbus. Alright, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. I'm actually going to let it just go at this speed for a little while until we get up closer to our altitude. I guess we're going to try for 7,500 feet here. We might go for 7,500. I might just keep it at 5,500 if I can, though. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and speed it up, advance the time, whatever you want to call it. Be back in just a little bit. All right, everybody, cutting back in. We are 13 miles out now. We kind of lumbered our way here about 85 knots, and all of a sudden we got to over 100. I think when the weather changed, all of a sudden. 12 and a half out now. We're heading off to the right. We're in heading mode, so we can swing to the left. I'm guessing we're going to be over somewhere in here, if I had to guess. I've got her going down to 4,800 feet. The airport elevation is 3,200. I'm kind of... I mean, I don't want to be too high, and we're not that far away. And we need to come out here so we can get a better approach. And of course, that's going to like set us to perfectly intercept this plane. And I don't know how. Like, I'm trying to use that map to gauge how far I want to come over here, but obviously we've had problems with that before. Oh, there's all the windmills and stuff. That's cool. This is going to be kind of hard to see as well. It's like I say, this is a very skinny runway, and it's not all that long either. The weather has cleared, so that greatly helps. But finding these small airports, as we already found out, can be kind of tricky, and we don't have a ton of fuel to mess around. I think we did a little bit better than I thought we would. It's weird, it says Cessna, you know, this plane, cruise speed, of what, 120-ish knots? And we were doing like 85. Like I say, when the weather changed all of a sudden, we got up to like 113 or something. I'm not sure why. Or what exactly changed. So 46, I'm going to take it 4,500. That puts us 1,300 above. Mute my mic for 1 second. I don't want to get too far away. There's not going to be much to say, oh, here's a runway. Because, like I say, this is a private airport owned by a homeowners association, so it's got some houses and stuff around it. Maybe it's not going to be as far over to the left as I thought. Maybe we're in here? It's going to be hard to tell. But that's why I would like to have a nice run into it so we could get a good view. Trying to find it. I don't have a heading of the runway. I looked several sites online, could not find actual heading. I hope that's not it, up on a ridge. Well, no. It's at 3,200. That would really suck if that was it. Well, we should be about 1,400 feet above it, so it shouldn't be anything like that. I can't imagine they'd have it up on a ridge. Actually, I can't imagine that they would have it up on a ridge. But it seems like it should be almost directly left of us. Don't let that be it, man. Don't let that be it. But anything else over here, though? Oh, jeez. Maybe should I let it go up a little bit? Back up to like 4,800? I didn't think about the fact that we need to be able to see this thing. Let's go back to vertical speed. Up. Condition lever back in. Now see, it looks, if I looked out it seems like it should be directly left of us. The problem is that ridge as well. And O'Day. Yeah, I don't think it's on that ridge. But, you know, man, so I don't think we went quite far enough to I'll stop it at 4,700 instead of 4,800. Yeah, I'm just getting a little worried. 5.7 away. Just trying to imagine it. And the only thing is, man, we're gonna be, you know, a little high. I think I was worried about it being on that ridge. We'll go back down to 4,500. I want to get there kind of quick. Be almost directly left of us. So I mean, if we went like a heading of 060, we're getting a little fast here. Oh. Reset my camera. Did it again. Now, man, it's got us flying almost a little off to the right of it. If anything, and I don't see anything. Out over the nose. I don't even see an area clear enough to have a freaking runway. But it looks like it is definitely off to the left of us. That's not... I wonder if that's going to be it. What's this right down here? It's going to be an airport. Or I should say airport, runway. Alright, so we know where it is. I'm not going to dive down at it. I'm going to set my altitude for 4,500. Well, it is set at 4,500. That's fine. So we will slowly descend. We're about 900 feet above right now. And so I'm just hoping that I'm going to be able to see that again. Second notch of flaps coming out. I can't imagine like flying in here in real life, like if you've never been here. Heck, even in the when it's clear out. I mean, I guess in real life it'd be a little bit easier to find. You're not looking at a computer screen, but you're actually flying. More power. I just hope we haven't dropped down so far that it's going to be hard to see again. Oh, you know, man, we didn't come in very well at all. Right here's the runway, actually. We're at full flaps. In fact, I did such a piss poor job, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to see it. trying to come back around. Probably be a little bit smarter to try it again.
500.
500.
Well, I'm not sure that would do us any good. I'm just worried about finding the freaking runway again. That's the main reason I don't want to try it again.
Minimums.
We might have to try it again. We're going too quick. Oh, man. The thing is, trying to be able to see it again. Alright, flaps are fully retracted. Just being able to find the freaking thing in the first place is what worries me. Technically, I'm sure we could land in this direction, but we're gonna go circle the airport again. There it is, right there. See it, man. It is hard to freaking see, is it not? It's just a little strip of freaking asphalt out in the middle of nowhere. Good night. Alright, 1 notch of flaps. Wouldn't track IR be a nice thing to have right about now. Keep that head on a swivel. Second notch of flaps. Full flaps, back on the power. I wish we could have got it the last second attempt. Well, I guess it was kind of first attempt, but the second time we saw it. Finding this runway is half the frickin' battle. There it is. We just have some trees to deal with. Why are we all of a sudden all over the place? All of a sudden it feels like we're a frickin' missile coming through the air. All over the brakes. I think Flight Simulator even got confused on the altitudes and stuff. I don't know what happened towards the end. All of a sudden, I mean, we didn't really pick up any speed, but my God, we started just flying like an absolute freaking missile. We had gone from, oh my gosh, we could fly up all out of the sky to, oh my God, we're way too fast. I cannot that plane is in the way. So we're just going to kind of go through the, yeah. Here, this guy's like, yeah. I guess that means good. I was kind of unexpected to see him there. Oh my goodness. That was, then I was kind of worried, are we going to be able to stop? And, but then as soon as we touched down, I pretty much knew we had it right then. Ooh, that was worrisome. Like I say, finding the freaking airstrip was one of the hardest things. And then coming in as like a missile was not cool. So that is off. We gotta leave these on. Cut our fuel. Oh. Make sure that's all the way off. Alright, let's go over to Air Hauler 2 and get ourselves paid. Alright, here we are in Air Hauler 2. Cargo, let's get that unloaded. Job complete. So let me do one thing in Flight Simulator real quick. Alright, I'm back. My idea did not work. I've got to mute the sounds because I've got Flight Simulator running in the background, making all that noise. Alright, so landing was smooth. Man, we came down quick. Takeoff fuel, 142 pounds, land was 77. So we actually used like a little more than half. That's what I was really worried about. Max altitude, 5,590 feet. Max pitch, 11.29. Max roll, 37.61. Max speed was 121 knots. Minimum G, 0.6. Minimum G's exceeds 0. Max G's, 1.42. Max G's exceeds 0. Stall false. Overspeed false. Obviously no passengers. Said it was a smooth landing. Geared on true. Of course, we have fixed gear. And on asphalt, no damage to the runway, no damage to the plane. Came down a little bit quicker this time, 112.0 feet a minute. Landing speed, 55.37 knots. Landing pitch, negative 2.47. Heading 54.4. Winding direction was 254. All right, that flight is over. Thank God. That was wild. So we're over at WV62. See, it made another thing, and it does go from WV62. But look at that. I mean, 263 miles up into Michigan, or is that is in Michigan? 76G. I believe that is still in Michigan. All right, so I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fly our plane over to Clarksburg, KCKB. If I click on that, sometimes it's so hard, and I don't know why. From KCKB back to Charleston, which is our base. It's only 84 miles. It is kind of heavy, so we'll have to, we'll just take a little less fuel or something. It pays $5,000. So let's take a look over here at finance. All right, so nice. Our income has been $172,000 the last 30 days, and outgoing 68. So we're up $4,000 the last month. We need to pick it up though, but we are. I haven't. This is only our 6th flight or something like that, or 5th, I think. So we'll be able to pick it up. That flight over from Clarksburg to Charleston will help as well. But yeah, that's the plan right now. So that's going to be it for this episode. I hope y'all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.